I mean,
30 years of bullying.
Let's have a confession time. What's one of the worst things you've done while angry?
While angry?
Yeah, like something that you can look back on and be like, I shouldn't have done that. You were just really angry.
The first thing that comes to my mind, to be honest,
I cursed off a cop once. That was probably and I remember, it's kind of funny what you were saying. My whole family was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, they could arrest you. Like, you could have easily gone to jail for that.
But sometimes you don't give a fuck.
It was that thing where there had been so much going on in my life.
Right.
I got pulled over in my driveway. I literally pulled, like, I had the longest day that day, and I don't even want to get into details of what happened that day, but it was a horrible day. I mean, one of the worst. And all I wanted to do was go home and go to bed. That's all I wanted to do. I pulled in my driveway. Okay, the street that I lived on was a one-way street, and it was closed. And there were cops there, and I was like, I live here. I was like, how do I go home? And again, like, this day couldn't get any worse. I just wanted to go home. And the cops were like, oh, you can't go through there. And I'm like, well, it's a one-way street. How am I going to get there? They're like, well, just go around the other way. They're like, because since it's closed off, you can't possibly get into an accident. No one's coming this way. So I went around the other way, and lo and behold, there was a totally different cop waiting there and saw me go down the one way and pulled me over in my driveway. And I just didn't have any, I was done. I was like, literally, I just want to go to bed. And he pulled me over, and I got out of my car, and I said, get the fuck out of my face. And I was like 26. Like, I wasn't like a kid, like I was a kid, I guess, but like, it really wasn't that long ago. And I was like, get the fuck out of my face. I don't give a fuck who you are. Go fuck yourself. I'm going to bed. And he actually let me go. And I think the only reason he let me go is because one of my aunts was there watching. So I think in his eyes, that was like a witness of some kind. Like, because I remember he told me on the spot, he's like, ma'am, I could have tased you. He's like, you have to understand, like, I don't know who you are. I don't know if you have a weapon. He's like, if you talk to a cop like that, like, I could arrest you. I could tase you.
Did he pull into your driveway?
He pulled into my driveway. And
bro, this is me though.
What do you mean?
Like, on public property, okay, cool. But this is my driveway.
Yeah.
Now,
I think that's why he didn't arrest me, because he saw somebody there and he was like, that's a witness. I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
But I lost my shit. I had no respect for him.
I wouldn't be embarrassed to that. I mean, everybody has their, I think
my whole family was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're so stupid. And I'm just like, I can't explain it, but it was rage. Like, it was like rage that I couldn't, like, I completely lost it, you know?
I don't usually overreact.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really like, anything that I've done in anger, like, I think I would say 100% of the fights that I've been in my life was self-defense.
Yeah.
Arguments, another thing. I don't want to call that self-defense, but I don't really start arguments. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think ahead before I bring up something that could be confrontational. But
so you never lost your shit before?
Nah, I mean, yeah, but I lost my shit as a reaction to somebody losing their shit on me, or like
you weren't the first one to do it.
If we out and we at a bar or something like that, and you got a problem with me or something, and you, because naturally I'm an instigator.
I know.
Like, naturally, if you have a problem, if you a dude and you have a problem with me at the bar for whatever reason, and I see you got a problem, and you voice that you have a problem, sarcasm is what you're going to get from me.
Yeah.
Sarcasm and jokes and all types of shit is what you're going to get from me. Now, a nigga that's drinking and already upset, that could lead to something, but I'm not going to get mad just because you mad.
Yeah.
But if you haul off and punch me in the face, or you take a swing at me or some shit like that, now I gotta defend myself. So if I lose my shit, I lost my shit because you was trying to, you know. Yeah. But I think the only thing that really comes to my mind that I'm ashamed of, and I actually hate thinking of this shit.
I'm sorry to talk about it on the
No, it's cool, because I mean I'm a man, so it hasn't happened again. No, there's two instances actually. I'll give them to you in chronological order. My ex before my baby mom, me and her were in an argument, and it was getting heated, and it looked like she was about to like hit me. And so all I remember is she was about to hit me, and then I don't want to say I blacked out because that shit's cliche.
Yeah.
But next thing I know, she was on the floor crying, like almost in the fetal position. And I left. I went for a walk and shit, and then when I chilled out and she chilled out and shit like that, we both took showers and shit like that, and we talked about what happened. And I was like, well, what happened? Because all I remember is I felt like you was finna punch me in the face, and then you were on the ground. So, and she was like, oh, you threw me to the ground. Like and I was glad, because I was thinking like, damn, did I hit her? Did I? And she was like, nah, you just grabbed me by my arms and just threw me to the ground.
Because you thought you were gonna get hit,
right.
So it was like a self-defense.
Yeah, but so that's number one. Like, and I hate that it happened, but I'm glad it did, because now I know I'm not one of those guys. Yeah. Like my parents, I grew up in, like, my parents weren't continuously on some domestic violence shit, but I've seen and heard the moments. Yeah. So, you know, when you raised around that, and then not even just my parents, man, my family on both sides, you know, the couples, they have their little shit, you know what I'm saying? That's another reason why this smack don't really mean shit to me, because it's like, bro, I've seen worse between motherfuckers that love each other. I know these motherfuckers love each other. Yeah. But you get to that point and it's just like, man, but so I hate that it happened, but I'm glad it did, because people who are raised in that environment usually tend to be that. Yeah. And when that happened and I seen her on the floor crying, I felt like the lowest motherfucker in the world. Like that shit.
If you were that type of person, that would have been the beginning of it.
That would have been like the beginning. That would have been, yeah, bitch. Don't fucking, like, you know what I'm saying?
I dated a guy like that.
I couldn't. Plus she was, come on, man. Like, you see my size and shit like that. She was like 5'2".
She was only 5'2".
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I guess that's kind of normal.
Yeah, maybe 100 pounds. Like, it wasn't even fair. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that happened, because now I know, all right, I'm not one of those guys. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then the second thing, it wasn't as bad as the first, but to me and to a nigga who has had time in the streets, me and my daughter's mom was arguing one time, and I got heated as shit, and I told her to suck my dick. Sorry. And I'm so embarrassed that I said that, because now
you just said suck that. You think
we were arguing, and I was going off on a tangent and all that other shit, and like I said it in anger, as opposed to, because I mean, this is my baby mom. Obviously, she has sucked my dick before. Yeah. But when a man, especially a black man, when he says that shit in anger, it's almost like, I don't give a fuck about you. Yeah, I'm ready to fight. Yeah. I don't, like, you know what I mean? And the fact that I let my emotions get that high towards a woman that I care about, a woman that I love, I feel like I was holding my daughter when I said it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that moment, those two moments, I was just kind of like, bruh. Like, of course, the second moment ain't as.
No, I think when someone you care about says stuff like that, it hurts. You know what I mean? Like, even in fits of rage, you know, and shit happens. Like, people say stupid things in fits of rage, but it just.
But
like,
I be liking when that shit happens to me, because then I know I never said that shit to her again. I might have said it, like, you know what I mean? I might have said it on some sexual shit, but like on some mad angry shit, I never said that shit to her again. Yeah. My ex before her, the one that I threw to the ground, I might have threw her ass on the bed after that incident. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's different if I say suck my dick in like a joking way, like, yo, suck my dick.
I hate when women say that shit.
You don't like when women say that?
I hate it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because every woman that I've heard say that, swear.
I don't think I say suck my dick. I think I say suck a dick. Yeah. Like, I'll say choke on a dick.
Yeah, that's different.
I don't think I say suck my dick. I just say, like, go suck a dick.
But to you women who swear you are a motherfucking feminist and all this shit, and you try to use male insults to insult a male, you sound fucking goofy. I hate when a woman says suck. If I'm arguing with a woman and she says suck my dick, the argument is over, not because I'm insulted to the point where I can't say nothing. Yeah. I'm just like, this bitch is goofy. She doesn't have a dick. Like, if I say suck my dick to another man it's like, I mean, of course, you know what I'm saying, if we on the streets, we not in jail, but that's from some prison shit where if you arguing with a nigga and he say suck my dick, you really gotta fight because the nigga might actually make you suck his dick. Now, if we say it on the street, the nigga might not actually try to make you suck his dick, but you understand the context of where that shit is coming from. Yeah. Like, nigga, you's a bitch. I could make you suck my dick if I really want you to. Yeah. So now I gotta fight you because I ain't, you know what I mean? Like that's how men take it. But when a woman says it, it's like, especially a bitch that claim to be like a feminist, man. I have had women who are on that women empowerment shit try to use male shit to justify their empowerment. Yeah. And it's like, why not just take pride in being a woman? Yeah. Of course, eat my pussy don't sound as gross as suck my dick. Yeah. But it might to a bitch who is heterosexual. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't think women, but I also don't think women take sexuality as like heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual. I think women kind of are more loose with that than men are. Yeah. So if a woman says eat my pussy to another bitch, it'd probably just be like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? But
yeah, no, I can't imagine saying that to another female. It would be really fucking weird.
But I'm saying, if you're trying to do the equivalent of suck my dick, what?
Yeah, I just say suck a dick.
No, yeah, I tell niggas that too. Like, if I'm really mad, I'll just be like, man, eat a dick.
I won't That's my favorite one. Eat a dick.
Yeah, I won't say suck mine because I don't want you to. I'm not no jail nigga. I've never.
That's funny. I never met anyone who took it that like word for word seriously to the point where the fact that you said it to a woman really like bothered you.
Well, because I mean, not to. I don't want to prejudge you or anything like that, but we might have been raised in different environments. Yeah. Raised with different boundaries as far as what could be said and can't be said and what the rules of certain shit are. I got older cousins, you know what I'm saying, who were real street niggas and told me like, yo, if a man say this shit to you, you gotta fight. Since I've
never had anything.
Exactly. Yeah, since I was like 7. But we all understand where that shit comes from. To this day, I don't sag my pants on purpose. Yeah. Like if I fuck around and grab a pair of pants, like if I got on some jeans or something like that and they sagging, it's because I just forgot my belt or whatever. But I don't do that shit on purpose because I understand. I had uncles who told me where that shit came from. Yeah. It's not something that I do. Yeah. So like realistically, when two men are arguing and that phrase is thrown out there, it means whoever says it, that literally means, nigga, I don't give a fuck what happens from now. Yeah. If I say this shit to you, I don't care what the fuck happens. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We could fight to the death, but that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, so I've never taken it that seriously. Like I've never even thought about it that way.
But you're not the only one, man. I keep saying men, but man, like you not the white boys play different. Yeah. White boys will say that shit to each other like it ain't
That's
shit.
what I mean. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I get it. It's just two different environments. That's not something.
Do you know who Miss Pat is? Comedian Miss Pat.
Maybe if
she was talking about how she says that white women like when they say cunt to each other, it's really serious. She's like in the black community, I say cunt to my friends all the time. And she's like, but if you say cunt to a white woman, she's like, that is the most foul thing. Like, that's a good
equivalent.
Yeah,
because
she was like that's their N word. Like she's like cunt to white people. That's what she said.
I don't even think it's y'all N word, but I think it is the equivalent to suck my dick because. To this day, I can't understand why cunt is the word.
It doesn't affect me that much because I hear it so much in comedy, but I do understand that it's like more foul than fuck. Like it's way more foul than the F word to say cunt. Really? But it doesn't affect me just because.
But why is there a history behind that?
I don't know the history behind it, but I just know that it's like if you say this fuck. But I don't know. I hear so many of my friends say it now that it's starting to lose its meaning.
If we having a moment of honesty, that's how I feel about the N word.
Yeah.
I grew up in a mixed neighborhood.
Yeah.
I really never. if I'm being honest, I never really felt any type of anger when a white boy says "What's up, my nigga" to me.
Really?
Never felt it.
Because it was like you understood the context differently.
Nope. I just innately. Now here's where shit is crazy, because as a black kid, you're taught that if a white person says it, no matter what, gotta fight. Now.
Yeah, but do you think it's because they didn't use the hard ER?
Nah, I'm gonna tell you. It's. I don't give a fuck about the ER and the A shit.
It feels the same to you.
It ain't even that it feels the same. It's just, now here's the thing. Realistically, I was raised around white boys who said it, but I never got mad because I always felt like they were just, it's almost like a woman saying suck my dick. Why are you saying nigga? Yeah. You're not one. Yeah. But you trying to be one, so you admiring me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just trying to be like me. All right, cool. I'm not mad at your fucking admiration.
Yeah.
But because of the history behind this word, I gotta slap the shit out you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then when I got older, I found out what the actual origins of the N-word was, and I'm like, oh wow, maybe that's the reason why I never, because that shit is a word from Africa that when the slave traders and shit like that, when they went to Africa and they were capturing people and shit like that, that's the word that they were hearing, so they were saying it in sarcasm. Nigga, all right, whatever. So of course that gets turned into a negative word. But the origins of it is that's a word of empowerment. It's almost like king or it's a man of stature and shit like that. So that could be, because I believe in spiritual shit. I believe in energy. I believe energy is transferred and, and passed on. So when you say, I believe that that's the reason why black people can't get away from this word. Like, the word has been used for hundreds of years to kill us, to do all types of foul shit to us. But then we turn it around and make it a term of endearment, like it was originally. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that that's the reason why. So that's the reason why I never really had a problem with it. I was just taught to fight if a white person said it to me. But once I got old enough to start thinking for myself, it's like, bro, I don't really care about this motherfucking word. Now, if you saying, I don't give a fuck if you call me, you can call me king, right? But if you say it in a way, I don't even know how you could say king in a way that's like disrespectful. You can call me whatever you want, but if I know you mean it in a disrespectful, derogatory way, now we got to fight, because I know what you mean behind saying that, as opposed to just trying to fit in with who you think is cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird thing, but it's really like and to be honest, if we have an honest conversation, that's how I always felt about sucking my dick. Like, if I'm arguing with a dude and he say suck my dick. So it's
funny to you, suck my dick has more power than the N-word. Like, in your eyes.
They have the same amount of power. No, the N-word has more power because
over people, but not over you.
Nah,
for you, suck my dick has you think that's more intense.
No, over people. If we talking about people,
like, I'm talking about you individually. For your individual opinion, suck my dick is the worst one.
Individually, nigger is worse, because if a white person says that to me in a way, like nigger has hundreds of years of oppression attached to it, to where I just cannot let that ride. If I'm arguing with a dude and he says suck my dick, I'm a 31-year-old father. I got a motherfucking pop socket with my daughter on the back. I'm not letting none of you motherfuckers take me away from my daughter because of some shit you say. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, you're saying it's not worth the physical consequences?
No, and neither is nigger. But I understand that those two can be used as bait. So I mean, that's a hard ass comparison. But when you put the history behind the two, nigga has centuries built on it. No, obviously,
I didn't mean for the actual society. I just meant for you personally.
Like, for me personally, I don't give a fuck. Man, listen. And this is why I'm also caught up between the whole Will and Chris thing, to bring it full circle. I'm one of the guys who, bro, I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah.
I don't care. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. But I'm going to let you know that the reason why I can understand what Will did was because that was his wife that he said something about. But I'm also a guy who, like I'm a 31-year-old father. I let things slide now that, man, if I was 15, 16 or 17, it would be a totally different story.
Yeah.
But I'm 31 and I'm a father. It's just certain things where I just be like, man, I just gotta let that shit go. Because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck how mad I was. I was almost ready to fight November of last year, I think. And I've had this pop socket on my phone since Father's Day of last year.
Yeah.
And I was almost ready to fight. And
you saw the pop socket?
I told somebody to hold my phone. And when I did that, I felt the pop socket, happened to look at it. I seen this little girl on my shoulders, and I was like, man, you know what, bro?
That's a great reminder, you know?
It is, but I don't even think, I'm not even sure, because this was a gift. The pop socket was a gift from my daughter's mom. I don't think she gave it to me for that.
I had one friend who was like super religious, and she said she put a picture of Jesus on the background of her phone. And she's like, you know, whenever I feel like cheating on my husband, I just look at the picture of Jesus.
What the fuck?
I'm serious.
You bullshitting.
No, I'm dead serious.
That's some funny shit.
I mean, I'm not going to talk about who it was, but that shit cracked me up because she was just like, yeah, I keep this on my phone. So whenever I feel like cheating on my husband, I look at Jesus.
That's wild. Motherfucker, if you lose your phone, you sucking dick. But yeah, like, but so... I could understand, like, I let so much shit slide that I wouldn't let slide 15 years ago. Yeah. So I understand the motherfucker who's over 50 and he's just like, yo, you know what? Will Smith got all the money in the world.
Yeah.
He has all his legacy is set. He has all the attributes. He reached all of his goals, I guess. Yeah. He finally got his goddamn Oscar. All that shit. Bro, I'm with whatever now. Yeah. My kids are grown. They're taken care of. Yeah. If they want to have kids, they're taken care of. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about... I don't care about an image now.
Yeah,
I get it.
He doesn't have anything to prove.
I get it.
Nothing to. Well,
he has a lot to lose, but he's not. He is so cemented in history. Yeah, he ain't finna lose his legacy over smacking Chris Rock. Yeah, or anybody. Yeah, but I do feel like if Seth Rogen said some shit, I don't think he smacked Seth Rogen. I don't think that if there was another comedian, another black comedian who was kind of more. Had more of an edge to him as far as streets are concerned. Are
they friends, by the way? Will Smith and Chris Rock, are they friends with each other?
I mean, you can't be my friend if you slap me on national television.
Prior to that.
I mean, I'm sure they probably seen each other around, and as black men in Hollywood, they probably formed some type of camaraderie over the years. But to be honest, you know, if that word friends is thrown around. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the comedians that are in the circles that I'm usually, you know, I pretty much it's Monday night. Yeah. If I would have went to Allen Witch, I know who I would see there. Yeah. I'm cool with everybody there. Yeah. I don't know if I would consider all those guys my friends. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But there's a form of comedic camaraderie that's set. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you got a show going on and you throw me on the show, I happen to have a show that I know about, I'll tell you to get in contact with the motherfucker running it, or there's some form of camaraderie.
It's a different type of friendship. It's not like a close friend, but it's,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, but motherfucker, we didn't grow up together.
Yeah.
If I wasn't doing comedy, if I wasn't doing comedy, I wouldn't know you. Not to say I don't give a fuck about you. Yeah. But so I feel like it's that type of thing. Yeah. But as people grow older, especially, bro, I'm only 31, and I'm too busy for anybody in my life.
Do you have any comedian like are there any stand-up comedians in the New Jersey scene that you consider like that's your boy? Because I know some like are tight. Like there's some, I know Josh has like a really good friend. Do you have any
Like that's my boy. Like, what do you mean?
Just like one comedian that you're tight with, you know?
Fuck. I feel like I feel like the guy that I'm doing this. Oh, April 24th, Sunday, April 24th, 5 p.m. Raise the Bar, South Amboy, New Jersey. Comedy
Andres?
show.
Is he your boy?
Who?
Andres Mitchell.
I feel like I know that name, but I'm
never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong open mic because I thought Andres was.
No, this is not an open mic. This is an actual comedy show. Me and my man Tony Tone, we got together. I feel like he's probably somebody that I can look at as an actual friend.
Yeah.
But we kind of just met, and now we kind of building that relationship.
Yeah.
I do look at. I would say maybe Josh. I would look at Josh as one
Tinley,
of
right?
yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I would look at him as one of my homeboys. Even his co-host Alex, I will look at him as a co-host.
That's what I was thinking of. Like they have a tight relationship. I'm
yeah,
wondering
but they might know each other outside of
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody. That's the only reason why I'm having a tough time answering because everybody that I have met through comedy, I met through comedy.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say who's really cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm cool with. I don't have no problem with none of these comedians. Yeah. I've been to Mike Laurel's house. He be throwing house parties and shit. He threw a couple house parties. He invited me. I went over there. I mean, I consider myself cool with everybody who I've been a part of their shows. Like John Kirshner and Mike Laurel and you know, a couple other people, but. Like for the most part, man, I just view that as like just a comedic camaraderie,
bond.
like
You
I
know,
like
yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, if I start hanging with these motherfuckers outside of comedy,
you wouldn't have time for comedy.
Not even that, but it's just if I start hanging with these motherfuckers outside of comedy, then the actual relationship can be built.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying about my man Tony Tone. Like we kind of hang out outside of comedy.
Yeah.
So it's like an actual friendship is being built as opposed to I see you at comedy shows and we parlaying at the comedy show and then when the comedy show is over we go our separate ways and we don't see each other into the next mic or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I mean I know you said you I think last time I seen you were that's crazy. The last time I seen you was the podcast, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I've seen you after the podcast. I've seen you a couple times at open mics and stuff.
But I know at one of them times you was telling me, and I ain't gonna say her name. I don't know if you want me to, but you were telling me about how you were gonna go to Texas.
We ended up not going because of COVID. But I was gonna mention her name too, but I'm actually not going to because just for her privacy. Yeah. But we were supposed to go to that, and then COVID, like we had planned to go in February when COVID. And
there was a spike.
There was a bad spike again, and a lot of things were closing. So we're like, let's just put it off. But I was gonna say, her and I really hit it off. Like I could see myself forming a close friendship with her. I haven't been doing open mics in a few months, but that is going to change this week. I literally have, and like I'm this week. Me and my, you know what's funny? One of my friends, in comedy, he asked me, he was like, would you be interested in playing like a musical thing while I riff off of it? And I'm like, fuck yeah. So that's going to be the return of my first open mic. And I'm going to do like a stand-up set.
Where at?
Probably Lemongrass, honestly. Probably there in like 2 weeks, I think. Yeah. He's coming on my podcast next week. And then the week after that, we're going to do that.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be any good.
I think this week Lemongrass has their actual little show.
So then it couldn't be this week. Really, before we end the podcast, we were talking about this earlier, and I thought it'd be interesting to bring it up live. We were talking about roasts, like roast battles, and I was telling you that I did one. And you were saying you're not a huge fan of doing them. So I kind of want to talk about this on the podcast. So why don't you like doing roast battles?
A roast battle is good because if you look up all the classic roasts, they're all with people who really know each other.
Yeah.
And when it's not with people who really know each other, you could tell, and it's kind of just fake.
Yeah.
If I don't actually know you, Like as far as like
it seems like an inauthentic thing.
Yeah, like it's just I can actually make fun of somebody with, when you make fun of somebody with love, it's better.
That's what it was. The 2 times that I did roasts, I wasn't given just a random opponent. I actually got to pick my opponents, and they were both people that I thought of picking you because I was like, they were both people that I felt like I had a natural chemistry with as people. I had Tim Rager. He was on my podcast, and I always felt like he and I like had good conversations. And then the other one was Sean McCracken. You know Sean McCracken? Yeah. He was on my podcast as well, and we just like had this natural, like we were already roasting each other on the podcast. We were just like joking around. So to me, it was a lot of fun because I got to actually roast people that I knew. And then secondly, I was telling him this before, it actually really taught me how to do proper joke writing because I'm definitely a competitive person. So when people were like, write these jokes in order to win this, I actually sat down. I was like, damn, I got to write good jokes. And I started writing jokes in a way that I never wrote for my own stand-up. So now I feel like I can take that skill and bring it back to my stand-up and kind of roast myself and then write the jokes in proper form. You know, not that jokes have to have a proper form, but
they kind of do. They kind of do too. I would get, like I said, if I was asked to do it, I would do it. But I feel like the way I do, like, all right, I did 2 so far, right?
Yeah.
They were against the same guy, me and Josh.
Yeah.
Right?
Josh Tinley?
Yeah. The first time.
Who won the battle?
He did. He won.
Oh, damn.
No, he won both times, and I'm going to tell you. The first time, I didn't care about him winning because it was a great fucking battle.
Yeah.
Like he just won off of, because I didn't know how it went.
Yeah.
It was that it was the Comedy Fight Club NYC shit, and I didn't understand how roast battles are.
Yeah.
And like, yo, the dude who was kind of putting it together, Elazar, it was at Raise the Bar in South Amboy, and you know, Comedy Fight Club NYC or whatever. They came there and put the shit on, and he was like, and Elazar was like, yo, would you be down with roasting Josh Tinley in the battle? I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. And he told me, shouts to you, Elazar, because you told me, he was like, yo, watch the roast battle so you can see how I go. But I'm arrogant, man. I know how to fucking roast. I don't give a fuck about that shit. So we get there, and Josh has actual roasts, jokes. I'm looking at this nigga and I'm like, man, Josh got it, and you know what I'm saying.
You didn't write your jokes. You were trying to go in with the flow.
Yeah. So, but it was close. It was close as shit. Because what's
one thing you said about it?
I'm just I think the first thing that I said was, Josh takes pride in dressing like a dyke that still likes dick. And that was it. Yeah. But I didn't know how the format was, so I didn't know about the whole setup thing and things like that. I was just coming with punchlines. Yeah. But he had a whole format. Yeah. So just because of how the shit goes, he won it. Plus, I feel like I was winning, but he had a great ass fuck. He had a great joke, which is very relevant to kind of relevant to what we talking about now. I don't know if he want me to say it, but I'll tell you off camera.
I don't. Yeah, you can tell me off camera because I don't feel right telling other people's jokes on camera.
And so he had a great joke, and I think that was like we both had like 5 jokes, and I think I went first, so I went 1, 2, 3, and then his third one was the phenomenal joke, and it just spun the whole it was a wrap.
Oh, so his best joke was the third one.
Yeah, my 4 and 5 was good.
Yeah,
but after his 3, it was just like
it was done.
Yeah, I want
to know what it was because I saw him do his first roast, and I can't remember if he won or not.
He did with the girl,
but I felt like that wasn't his best.
Nah, it wasn't.
You were there?
Were you there for that? No, but she sent me the battle.
I didn't think it was his best, so I'm surprised.
And I was like,
that
I told her, I was like, man, that battle was fucking trash. Y'all motherfuckers was that was some bullshit.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so that was the first battle. But I didn't care about losing that battle because it was a great show.
Yeah.
But my niche during that battle was I'm about 6'2".
Yeah.
Josh is what? 5.
You gave him short jokes?
I gave him feminine jokes the whole time. Like I said, really? Dressed like a dyke that loves dick.
Yeah.
I was basically talking about how feminine he was the whole time. Borderline gay shit. You know, Josh has a dreadlock for every time he took a facial. Like that was my shit. Yeah. But it was a clash of styles. Yeah. He was just talking about how, man, I wish I could say his fucking.
Just to say.
But he was just talking about me as a whole, where I was kind of sticking to that lane. Yeah. So it was a clash, and it was a great show because nothing got redundant. Mm-hmm. Now, when we battled again at Lemongrass, and this was the big ass rematch and all type of shit like that. Battle was great. The people before us, we were headlining. Now this is my second roast battle. Yeah. I shouldn't be headlining no fucking roast battle. This is the second time I'm doing it in my motherfucking life. But because he's the host at Lemongrass, I guess they felt like we should have. But so he says his first joke. Yeah. I say mine. I'll say mine because I ain't gonna use it for nobody else. Yeah. My first joke, and this is where you can see I kind of structured shit a little bit. Yeah. My first joke that I said to him was I was like, yo, it was kind of hard to come up with jokes about Josh because he's a very inspirational dude. No matter what his dreams are, he'll go for them. Mm-hmm. No matter how big they are. Just last year, he was very close to getting the lead role in the Lifetime Whoopi Goldberg biopic. But they said his voice wasn't deep enough. Like he needed more testosterone
so
to
exactly
be a bitch.
Like the way you set it up, you kind of led them on to thinking it was a compliment. And that's what I mean. Like, wait a sec. Like when I started doing these roasts, I was like, wait a second, this is how most joke writing should be. Like you should be leading people on, and leading
people left and then go right.
Like, and it made me realize that my regular stand-up really lacked that. Like my regular stand-up, I would just kind of go up and tell stories, but not really structure it in any kind of way. Yeah. So I'm very grateful about the opportunity because having that competitive aspect like forced me to really do my work and study. So I'm that's like, true. Shit, now I gotta. And it also kind of narrows things down because when you do stand up, there's so many things you could talk about. You could talk about so many things. And then when I was like, okay, here's my person. What are their flaws that I have to make fun of or whatever, their perceived flaws that I have to make fun of? It really narrowed it down. And now I kind of want to go back and like narrow it. Like I want to go back to my regular stand up and kind of do things that way and pick certain topics to narrow it down.
I mean, speaking of, and to bring it full circle again, speaking of Chris Rock, you can do that. Like, I came in. I started doing comedy in 2019. Yeah. Was doing it for a year. Yeah. COVID shut everything down. Yeah. Started back up in June 2021. Mm-hmm. Right. And when I started back up, I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not using none of the old material." Yeah. Yada yada yada. But the fact of the matter is, that material that I was considering old. Yeah. Only a year old. And you could develop that. I've developed 2019 material into some of my hardest hitting shit. Remember the last time I was here?
The first time I met you, you had a joke at Stress Factory, and I remembered it years later.
And you know what's crazy? Because you said that, I brought that shit back.
I love it.
And I just made it relevant to the time. Yeah. And I added on to it. I made it relevant to everything. But when you said that made you remember who I was or whatever you said, it was like, oh shit, that shit 100%. Is a good joke.
Like I saw you years later, and I was like, that's the guy who said that joke. Like, and it was only within seconds of you talking that I recognized you, And again, it was because it was such a lead on, because it was such like a, oh my God, that's so sweet. And then like it started with like, oh my God, he's so sweet. And then all of a sudden you just like,
hey, yo, I swear to God, it has the same reaction every time. That's like when I do like a new room, like a new crowd of people and shit like that. That's a great opener. That's my opener.
Yeah. Because you just win them over immediately.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, I got mad. I'm gonna say, was it January? I did this show in Colts Neck. I mean, not Colts Neck, Freehold, at the Metropolitan Cafe, and there was a comedian that went on before me. He was like 3 people before me or something like that. usually when I do, like, when there's a gang of people, I'm either second to last or I'm last, because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't bragging, but hey.
Yeah.
Nah, but so it was a comedian that went on like 3 people before me. And he kind of had this, I'm talking about, if we talking, like, if I didn't know this guy from Adam, and because I never met him before that night, me and him don't even follow each other. For him to steal that joke, he would have had to scroll down my Instagram till 2019 to see it. So, but if we were around each other, like at the Stress Factory, or and he did the joke that he did, I would have sworn he stole my shit.
Yeah. But
he did a joke so similar to that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I can't even. And I had usually that joke, like I said, is my opener.
Yeah.
And then from there, how the crowd reacts, I kind of figure out where I'm gonna go next.
Yeah.
Because I got about, usually when you do like ensemble shows where it's you and like 6-7 other people, you really only got about 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Usually my bits are about, I would say my bits are about, when I got the time, they're like, I got like 3 to 4 minute bits.
Yeah.
So if I got 12 minutes, that's 4 jokes.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you have longer ones.
Yeah. So I usually open up with that one and then just figure out where I'm gonna go next, depending on how the crowd reacts. But when he opened up with his shit, he opened up with it too. He, like, it was this, I was like, man, how the fuck?
Parallel thinking.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck. So obviously I couldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I had to rearrange my whole shit, and I kind of and I got mad because I'm like, damn, like, that shit is real.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of comedians talk about parallel thinking, and
it is. No, it happens. I've been on shows where same thing. Someone said a joke, like, I was like, fuck, I wrote a really.
I'm talking about, man, the parallel. If I was recording his set and then recording how I say the shit, even the transition from that joke to like the rest of the set, the transition was still, and you'd be like, wow.
But you don't think he stole it?
Nah, I wouldn't put that on him. If he did, he's a hell of a researcher. But I wouldn't put that on him just because of the facts.
No, I mean, parallel. I've had parallel things happen like that too, where people had pretty much the same joke as me, and it really, and there was no way they could have, because like, I don't even have my shit out there. I don't have any of my jokes out there. They never saw me, and literally the same show they opened up with, like, or not opened up, but somewhere in their set they had like a similar, like really similar joke, and I'm like, damn. And it's kind of like to get on a side tangent about that. It's kind of like a maturing point in your life, I guess you could say, where you realize you're really not that special. Like a lot of, like, something you thought of is rarely unique. You know what I mean? Not you. I mean, like,
I'm
people. Not you personally. But I mean, like,
look at what I'm wearing. I got a hoodie on with a motherfucking The Harder They Fall hat.
And there's probably hundreds of others doing the same thing.
I ain't see them. They don't exist until I see them.
No, but like, it's kind of like a maturing moment that I've had, like, when I realized that a humbling, that's the better way to say it. It was a humbling moment in my life when I realized a lot of people out there have the same thoughts as me,
But then, is it humbling when you be like, oh shit, I was hit with this audible, now I got an audible and still do my shit, and then you go up there and do your shit? Is that humbling? Or is it, because I ain't gonna lie to you, that show, I was like, fuck. Now I got to go in the back and I got to rearrange all my shit mentally.
Yeah.
And I went out there and killed. So at the moment, it was humbling. Oh, shit, this nigga think like me. But then when I did my shit, it's like,
it made you even feel,
but I'm really that nigga though, because
it made you feel even stronger.
Yeah, I still went out there and did what the fuck I had to do. I just couldn't say that one joke. Because if one joke defines me, what the fuck am I really doing?
But then it forced growth out of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, is it really humbling, or is it eye-opening to how special you really are? Because anybody could face some adversity.
Well, it would only open you up to how special You really are if you were able to conquer that situation.
If you're able to rise to the occasion.
If you're able to rise.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay, it's humbling in a way that you can always be better.
Right.
In that kind of way.
But if you know, like at first I was pissed off because I'm like, fuck, this nigga took my opener. Not that he took it, but fuck, I was set. Yeah. This was how I was gonna go. Yeah. Now I gotta figure out a new opener. So I go in the back, I figure out a new opener, and I never lost my confidence, but it's just, you know how when shit just make you rearrange, like when shit just catch you off guard, you be like, man, what the fuck?
I think those moments are important to have. They keep you on your toes.
Especially as a like a person who considers, like I consider myself to be creative. So if I'm able to just have, you know, if there's no obstacles, how creative am I really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then if I do have obstacles and I'm still able to make sugar out of shit,
yeah.
Who the fuck could tell me I'm not as good as I think I am?
Yeah.
Like, can't nobody tell me that I'm not I don't even consider myself a comedian.
Really? Why?
I've only been doing this shit since 2019.
It's 3 years.
It's 2 years because 2020 shut everything down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I've been doing this shit
you're
since,
definitely a comedian at this point.
No, I appreciate that, but I don't consider myself I consider myself a nigga who is doing comedy and I'm learning, but I do feel like there is a certain type of time that has to be put in for me to actually own that title.
Yeah.
Because to say I'm a comedian, now you're putting me in the category with the motherfucking Dave Chappelle's and the Bill Burrs and the George Carlins.
But there's also all kinds of other people underneath them as well.
Sure, you know? But
the openers.
Yeah, but then the openers, if you opening for Dave Chappelle, you've been doing this shit for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Maybe. Dude, unless you know the motherfucker.
I've had friends on my podcast who told me like wild shit happens and you might find yourself opening for Mark
the right place
Norman
at the right
time when you're not ready. Like we had a full-on conversation about that, so it's not always true.
That's true. Know? But it's also like unless you like, I do feel like if I really had to, if somebody said, yo, Chris Rock and say his name again, Chris Rock and Kevin Hart, they're on tour.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be at the Prudential Center.
Yeah. And
they're going to be at the PNC Bank Arts Center.
Yeah.
I'm literally 10 minutes away from the PNC Bank. Yeah. And this is how I know I love comedy. Because I used to do music before comedy. Mm-hmm. Never felt like I wanted to go to a concert. But now that I'm doing comedy and they say Chris Rock and Kevin Hart is going to be 10 minutes away from me, I'm actually thinking about getting tickets.
Yeah. Like
that's how I know I love comedy, right? Now, if they say Kevin Hart and Chris Rock is on tour together, and you know, if this was back in the day, usually, you know, if you a local big head, you might be able to do 5 minutes before they, you know, they might get like 5-6 of you to come out, do 5-10 or whatever the fuck, and then they come out and do their headlining spots.
Yeah.
I do feel like if I get 5 minutes in front of an arena full of people, I do feel like I have the material to kill at least at 5 or 6 minutes.
5, yeah, for sure.
I feel like that, right? But I also feel like that's jumping the gun a little bit just because of now if somebody say it, hell yeah, I'm taking the opportunity, but it's almost like a cheating thing. But then is it cheating because they say Eddie Murphy got lucky in that same type of way?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's cheating. I think if you get an opportunity,
I believe everything happens for a reason. So
we actually talked about this on my podcast, and you were the one advocating that if you get that opportunity. No, maybe that was somebody else. I couldn't remember who said it.
I know we talked about fate and all that shit.
But I do think you were the one who said, if the opportunity comes, it comes for you for that reason, you know?
Yeah, but I do.
Who said that.
But I do kind of. There's a certain survivor's remorse that comes with me.
Yeah.
Like I watch movies and shit and get kind of choked up about certain shit. I'm not really like an emotion. I don't really cry and shit like that. But like when I watch movies and I just see bad luck shit,
it
fucks me up because it's just like. like that shit could be anybody.
Yeah.
Like that could be me.
Yeah.
They say DMX used to cry and go on like rants about like, damn, why did God bless me with this shit? Like I ain't shit. Yeah. Not to say I ain't shit, but there's a certain thing that comes with having a talent, and you kind of feel like, well, what the fuck? Why do I like? What did I do to deserve this shit?
Yeah.
Other than existing.
Yeah. So
there's like I said, there's a survivor's guilt that would come with, let's just say, out of a stroke of a miracle.
Yeah.
Somebody with connections says, yo, they're looking at locals for, to do 5 minutes before Chris Rock and Kevin Hart go up, and you're one of the people who was suggested. If that happens, of course I'm gonna take it, but then the whole time I'm gonna be like, damn, why the fuck? Not grieving, but you be like, wow, like
you feel weird, like why is this happening to me?
But then like on the one, and then on the other hand, it's like the ego and the arrogance kicks in. It's like, yeah, cause I'm good. But then it's like, yeah, but how many other people are good? So like you're saying, like, it's not rare what we think of, like as far as creativity and shit like that. So I do have that. I have arrogance and I have like a humble stability.
Maybe you kind of need a healthy balance of both to do something like this. Like, because if you're too humble, you do kind of. You're right. You do need to kind of have a little bit of I don't know how to phrase it properly.
You said it right. Balance.
But you need a little bit of that ego. You need a little bit of that ego. You
need arrogance to, especially as somebody who's entertaining. You have to have that
belief in yourself.
I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I know I'm
almost
good.
like unhealthy, psychotic belief in yourself.
Right? Because all right, bet Netflix got the Kanye shit out, and even though he's acting a goddamn fool right now. When you watched, I don't know if you watched it or not, but when I watched that documentary, I got too inspired because it's like, this is when I see shit and I see the greats kind of align themselves with what I've been doing. He had one of his homeboys following him around with a camera since before anybody knew who the fuck Kanye West was.
Yeah.
Me and my cousin used to walk around with cameras when I was like 17.
Yeah.
Just documenting life. You know what I'm saying? Like just documenting the shit we was doing.
Yeah.
And like when you see certain shit like that, you be like, wow, like maybe I am on the right path with all this shit. And it's just motivational, like as far as can't nobody tell you what you here to do and not do.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a kid, I always ended up on a stage.
Yeah.
I was little as hell, and I was looking through one of my aunt's photo albums, and we had went to Sesame Place. You know what that is?
Yeah, I know Sesame Place.
We went to Sesame Place when I was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And we went to like some type of show. I don't know what it was. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember. It was like I don't know if it was a concert or whatever. Yeah. But I guess the lady host, she was looking for, she was like, does any kid wanna? And next thing you know, I'm the one that was picked to go up on stage. Yeah. And this is 3 or 4. I remember at elementary school when I was in band, I was always the one that was doing the little solo.
Yeah, I think we talked about this on the last podcast too. Yeah, I remember now.
I kind of, me and my cousins had like a rap group, a Christian rap group when we were younger. I was like I was the lead dude. I was always on a stage. I was always in the spotlight. So can't nobody tell me I'm not here to entertain. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny when I think about my history with that. I definitely had like a lot of, I guess, signs as when I was young that I was kind of like meant to do music. Like there was just a lot of things like that in my life. Comedy, no. I remember in Girl Scouts, Girl Scouts, we were playing this game. I never had any signs that I was supposed to be a comedian. Music, yeah, but as far as comedy, we had this, they were playing this game in Girl Scouts where you had to like stand up and make everybody laugh. Like the game was the people in the audience are not allowed to laugh, and your goal is to make them laugh. So like if you were in the audience, you were trying not to laugh. And I remember I went up and I fucking ate shit. The kids were like, "You're not." The kids
traumatizing.
It was like so. I never like. I remember I went up and they were all girls too. They were like, "You're not funny at all." Like
bitches don't give a fuck.
And I was like 6 years old. I think I was like balking like a chicken or something.
Nah, that's some weird shit. But you know what's funny now that I think about it? My brother and my cousin. I think it was like 3 of us. Yeah. Like 3 of my cousins. So it was like, I guess it was like 6 of us all together. Yeah. We used to like on the weekends when we would find ourselves like all together and shit like that, spending the night at whoever's house. Yeah. We used to do that. Like we used to like have like little talent shows. Yeah. And we would turn out the lights and we would have a little flashlight. Yeah. And we would have to go in front of the mirror and say something funny. Yeah. And if it wasn't funny, motherfuckers would be like, that shit wasn't funny. But if it was, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers would laugh. But it's just it's weird how the stars align for, you know, certain shit. I didn't think I'd be doing comedy either, but doing music, I was preparing myself to do comedy. My homeboy who just started coming with me to like all the comedy shit, I was supposed to be with him tonight, but I told him I was coming to do a podcast and I wasn't trying to bring nobody extra to your house. But he's been coming with me for the past couple of weeks to the mics and the shows and shit like that. Yeah. And he used to tell me when we was in the studio doing music together, like, yo, you wild, yo, you just say anything.
So he kind of saw it before.
I don't know if he saw me being a comedian, but he saw me not giving a fuck about. Yeah. I don't care what people think. You know what I'm saying? Like if I think it's, because it's certain songs where I want to, you know, if we rapping and there's certain songs where I want to show my lyrical ability, I will. Yeah. But if it's certain songs where I want to be funny, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. You know, Eminem is a cat that I grew up listening to, and he's one of those guys he's lyrical as shit, but when he's being funny, he'll say the most outrageous shit ever because fuck it, I'm being funny. Like it's that. So I was gravitating towards it. When I would do music, when I would do shows, I would stop the music and say shit to make the crowd laugh and all types of shit like that. I didn't think I was gearing myself to be a comedian, but I remember I always wanted to intertwine the two because like if I had a show on, what's today's date? Yeah. Today is March 28th. I don't know what this Saturday is, but let's say this Saturday is April 2nd. April 2nd? Mm-hmm. That's this Saturday?
I'm pretty sure.
So let's just say, right, April 2nd, right? If I know I got a show April 2nd, Saturday, April 2nd, the Saturday before April 2nd, all I would do was watch concerts of musicians that I look up to, and then watch comedic specials of my favorite comedians. Yeah. So I guess subconsciously I knew that I wanted to intertwine comedy and music. Yeah. But I didn't know that I was kind of gearing myself up to go into comedy. I just thought it was cool to be musically talented and funny on stage at the same time.
I'm kind of at a crossroads right now of trying to figure out how to work them both in my life because I love them both so much. And I have to work a job. Like you know how much work it takes to be a professional comedian. Like you have to go up there and do mics. Now imagine trying to do that on top of trying to be a professional musician. So I'm like really trying to figure out how to balance it out. And I came to a realization that it's not really possible to be a pro at both. Like I would have to
It is, but here's the thing.
I didn't have a job.
Yeah, you would have to be a pro at both.
You would have to combine them.
Not even that. You would have to take all right, Jamie Foxx is a great example of that. He always wanted to be in music, but he knew, and this is just his words, he knew that comedy was kind of his lane because of how fast it kind of jumped off for him. Yeah. Like, I was watching a documentary of his and shit like that, and it was saying that he was voted, like, you know, when they have the shit in the yearbook, he was voted like most likely to be famous and all that. He was that guy. Sports, everything. But he knew like comedy was the lane.
Yeah.
So he did that, and what he would do was he would set little breadcrumbs. Like when he had a sitcom, he sang the intro.
Yeah.
When he would do his specials, at the end of his specials, he would bring out the piano and sing and all type of shit. Like, of course, it'd be funny songs and shit like that, but he would always intertwine the two.
Yeah.
Then when he did the Ray Charles biopic, that's when people actually took him serious as an actor and as a singer, because he said that that's what he was fighting, because he couldn't come out with a CD when he was the height of comedy Jamie Foxx, because people would be like, man, get this goofy shit out of here. But when they seen Ray Charles and they seen the depth of his acting, it's like, oh shit, this motherfucker's really talented. Kanye West puts him on the slow J, said they want some Marvin Gaye, some Luther, and they see like, oh shit, this nigga can really sing. And a few years later, he hits the pinnacle of music. When he dropped his album, it was like one of the best albums out that year. I think he was nominated for a Grammy and all that. I don't know if he won, but you know what I mean? So it might be that lane. Yo, I have to have all this success in comedy and acting.
I feel like I'm in an interesting place right now, because it's like, as far as my natural talent, definitely I'm more musical. Like hands down, there's no argument. I kind of had this realization about it with comedy. I love to write. I do not have your skill where I can just riff in the moment with comedy, and I feel like that's a problem. And I feel like I can't come up with material on the spot, which is a problem. Like I feel like you need that skill to be.
Don't give me too much credit. I don't come up with material on the spot.
But okay, if there's a moment where you have to play with the crowd, you have to deal with a heckler. I feel like to be a pro comedian, you need to be good at that stuff. And I feel like I'm not. And the only way to get good at that would be to put in a lot of work. And in order to do that, I would have to take time away from practicing music. When it comes to music, I can riff on the spot. Like if I can improvise, I can do solos. Like I can do that. I mean, we did it together. Remember, you were like, "Oh, you're doing this on the spot." I'm like, "Yeah." I could never do that with comedy. I could never just come up with funny shit on the spot. All my stuff is just writing. So here's the interesting thing I'm in right now. As far as the music goes, I'm definitely more musically talented naturally. As far as opportunities in music, forget it. Like there's no way I could ever be like a famous music. I'm not even discrediting myself. It would be impossible.
Like you are.
Here's the funny thing. I feel like there's genuine opportunity for me to become a successful comedian because I'm a female, and there's not a lot of females in comedy. I mean, there's more now, but I'm not a natural at it. So it's like, it's so funny. Like if I were to take the path of comedy, it would be the path more probably to success because there's more opportunities in it, but it's not my natural talent.
You're a natural. Oh, okay. But see, here's the thing. You can have more than one natural talent.
It's hard to.
You are. I feel like you are. This is something that, like I said, we're not gonna say her name because her privacy.
Yeah.
But the chick you was gonna go to Texas with.
Yeah, it's funny. She's also a musician as well. That's why we bonded.
This is something I told her. You kind of just gotta not, cause she even her, when I see her at the mic, she kind of fucks with the crowd a little bit now, and
she's opening up more.
Yeah, that's all you got to do is really just not have shit so set in stone in your mind. Just say fuck it.
I'm very OCD. I'm like a very.
No, I get it, but see, like you said, not even just a
okay,
comedian.
let's practice now. So okay, at the roast the other day, somebody made a joke about me that I'm a Joe Rogan fan. They're like, you're. I don't want to say what the joke was, actually, because I'm not allowed to say someone else's joke on here. But somehow after the joke was done, somebody in the audience was heckling me, and they were like some stupid redneck guy. He was like, "Just say the N-word. I want to hear you say it." And he's yelling at it. And that was my opportunity to come up with a funny word that started with N that wasn't the N-word. And I couldn't think of shit. I was like in my head thinking, I was like, nutcracker. Like I couldn't think of any. And I feel like you would have been able to come up with something. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but if somebody was telling me to say the N-word, I could say it.
But okay, if you were a white person, like pretend you were white and you had your skills.
And this is a redneck guy.
It was some redneck guy in the audience be like, "Just say the N-word. Just say it. We want to hear you say it." And if I was a skilled comedian, I would have had something to say there.
Realistically, you want to know what's funny? That's simple, straight to the point, and would have made everybody laugh. I think.
I could. What is it?
Ready? Just say the N-word. Just say it. Let me hear you say it. And you have to look at him and be like, no.
I actually thought of that, but not till after. Do you think that would have been good?
I feel like that would have been a shut the fuck up. I feel like no would have.
See, I actually, you know what's funny? I did think of that, but I didn't think it was that funny. That's why I didn't say it.
I mean, it would probably be the way you deliver it.
And some guy kept calling me a hoe. Really? Dude, I pissed the crowd. Some guy was like, "You're a hoe!" Like, and he was serious. Like, he wasn't trying to like be funny. Like,
that's easy. That type of shit is easy to come back.
I did have one come back for one guy. One guy was like, "Did you pay him for?" Or no, did he pay you for sex, you hoe? And I was like, he couldn't afford it. Like that's what I said, and the audience liked it. They were I mean, there weren't that bright of a crowd, so it didn't take much with them. But I don't know. I just feel like as a comedian, I would have these like witty comebacks for that, and it wouldn't stress me out at all.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the catch-22 of gaining that skill. I kind of have a witty comeback thing, but that's just because of the environment I grew up in. My cousins made fun of me. My friends made fun of me. We would sit around at the cafeteria lunch table making fun of each other. It's just, you kind of learn that type of shit growing up. Yeah. And it's like a second nature. You know what I'm saying? This nigga Rick got on a hat with a hoodie on. Oh, nigga, what the fuck you got on? You got to, like, you kind of, it's just a thing. But,
I never had that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So now is your time to... Sometimes you got to jump out there, and maybe you'll say some shit that ain't funny. Maybe you'll miss it. Yeah. But, so I should have taken that risk and said no. Because even in the shit that's not funny, you still kind of lose a little bit of the inhibition. You know what I'm saying? You still practice the art of just letting loose. You still practice the art of letting loose. You still kind of let that wall down a little bit. And then even if you do it again and it doesn't hit, you still let that wall, where you get to a point where you don't give a fuck.
You're like, whatever happens. Exactly, I'm gonna die one day. Fuck it. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you know what happens with that? The beauty in you not giving a fuck, that's when the shit is funny. Because you're not scared to die up there. Like, you're not scared, and not die literally. I'm saying you're not scared, like, to metaphorically. There's no like fear of, I think the only reason I can play off the crowd a little bit is because I genuinely
don't give a
fuck what somebody, like, of course I want you to laugh at my shit. Yeah. But if you don't laugh at it, that doesn't alter me, because I understand that some of the shit that
it would like put me in a depression. Like I think it does. Whenever I bomb on stage, I go home that night. Like, I mean, it got to a certain point where I was able to take it more because I would weigh out the things in the long term. Like, I would have some nights where I did well and some nights where I bombed. Right. And after like longer periods of that, I started to be able to take bombing more. But it got to there were times where, like, if I wasn't going up consistently enough and I would bomb, I would just take it so seriously.
See, that's the thing. When you're not going up consistent, like, all right, a show I just did, when was it? It was last Thursday, whatever date that was. Yeah. Same place I said before, where the guy kind of said a joke like mine and I still killed. This particular show, there was a lineup. Yeah. And in the beginning, before the show, I was second to last. Yeah. But one of the guys didn't show up. So the coordinator for this show, for some reason, switched me in his spot. And so he was going second. Yeah. So now I'm in the headspace where I'm about to watch the show until the person that goes before me, and then just luckily, one of the other comedians tapped me and was like, "Yo, you're up next, right?" I'm like, "What?" Nah, I'm second to last. He like, "Nah, you're up next. Look at the list." So I look at the list, and she scratched, and so I'm like, "Oh shit!" So now I gotta go in the bathroom. I gotta figure my shit out. Yeah. And that show, I still did my thing, but it wasn't, if I would have known I was second, I could have been more, like, I could have had my shit set up earlier to where, I can enjoy the guy before me. And you know what I'm saying? But like, sometimes, man, it's just good to, I don't even know. Why the fuck did I bring that up? What were we talking about?
We were talking, wait.
We were
now
talking
I lost
about
my
comedy.
train of thought too. We're talking about comedy. Oh, letting your inhibitions loose.
Yeah, okay. The reason why I wasn't totally flustered was because I went up there and said, man, fuck it.
Yeah.
I only had a good now that show, I think I did like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I only had about I had about the 5-minute start.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whatever comes after that comes after that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a talk to the crowd, and hopefully they say something where I could lead into some more material.
Yeah.
I can always find my way to bridge a gap between crowd work and material. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And that's what I've been working on a lot lately. I've been working on having it look like I'm freestyling.
Yeah.
Because Mike Epps is a comedian that I look up to a lot when it comes to certain shit, and I see he never really has a set.
Yeah.
He just has a fucking a full clip of material, and
I realized that I actually, not to interrupt you, but I realized this too. I could actually write comebacks for hecklers, knowing in mind what they might say ahead of time. Like
That's good too,
they might say something about me being a woman in comedy, whatever. Have a comeback for that. They might say I have no tits. Have a comeback for, like, you know what I mean? Like whatever they might say about me, like already have a prepared comeback, because you can kind of predict what they might say. You can't always predict it though.
Nah, but that's a good thing to have too.
Yeah.
Now the only thing with that is you have to understand that you can't be too anal with it.
I am.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. I'm
pretty anal for someone who doesn't like anal.
Hey, this dude. Oh no, I ain't even gonna. All right, cool. I'm writing a joke for this guy that says I had no tits, right?
Yeah.
Now, as long as you keep that on the front part of your mind, and it's not, and it's like lighthearted in you, then it's cool. But if the guy says, "Oh, bitch, you ain't got no titties," and you try to think of the exact, if I said, okay, wait, what did I write down?
Yeah.
Like if you do that in your head, it kind of fucks up the momentum, as opposed to like
have a framework of what you could say, but play around with the moment a little more.
Yeah, because it's just, man, this comedy game, like I said, man, I done did the rapping, I done did the motherfucking the DJing, I done did the theater shit. This comedy is the most fun form of entertainment that I've ever been in, because I could just go up there and let it all hang down. And who give a fuck? Let me tell you something. We started off talking about that Will Smith and Chris Rock shit. I am not Chris Rock. If Will Smith smacked me, we'd have been on that stage embarrassing the whole black community. I'd have set niggas back. They'd have made that shit segregated again. Niggas are not allowed. Fuck that.
Well, that brings things full circle, and that's a good time to wrap it up, because we're getting into that territory of having to split the podcast into 2 episodes again. We went for like 2 hours basically, but that's why I brought you on. It's always a pleasure with you. We always get into good conversations. We have polite discourse, polite disagreements, you know.
I don't even think we have no. What the fuck?
Not disagreements, but we dig deep, you know.
Yeah,
we get into it. But anyways,
we usually agree on certain shit.
Yeah,
motherfuckers tend to agree with me because I'm a persuasive dude. You know, she didn't understand why Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. And then after a couple minutes of me talking, she was like,
I understand it now, but it doesn't mean I still agree with it. That's the difference.
You smacked a guy before without him smacking you first. It happened.
I smacked a
guy
in
your life
without him smacking me.
Yeah, I was arguing, and he might have said something you don't like, and you smacked. And maybe not a guy, maybe a girl, maybe. But I understand I did
hit a girl in high school.
We talked about
this on my podcast
on an intimate basis.
Yeah.
And I've never come across a woman who in an argument has just outright slapped me. But I can women have told me stories, man. They motherfuckers. Never mind. That's a whole nother conversation.
We're gonna have you come back on for a third episode probably in a month or so. So
man, I would like to be a reoccurring. Am I reoccurring now, or is it just the second time?
This is
not reoccurring. If I come back on the third
you're
time,
gonna be a recurring
really,
guest. I have faith in you because we always have a good conversation chemistry. But anyways, this is the Pranzata podcast. If you enjoyed yourself, don't forget to hit like. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Should I just get rid of that part? Is it annoying that I do the intro and the goodbye? Do you think I should get rid of it?
No, I think it's cool.
You like it?
I would like to say that if you are one of Pranzata's friends and you look anything remotely like Pranzata, you can hit my DM. Me and her are friends, and it's platonic, and she has a boyfriend.
I have a boyfriend,
so I gotta leave all that shit alone. But hey,
so any single ladies, if you're looking, you
ain't gotta be single. I don't give a fuck.
All right, this is exactly why we invite him on the podcast. Okay, Pranzata podcast. I hope you had a good time. Enjoy yourself. Come back again for next week. I think it's going to be episode 54. I don't know exactly, but have a good night. Bye.